5, 4, 3. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
I got that whole thing.
Good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, that was on purpose.
I know.
I was trying
to play into it.
What was that? Wayne's World, where they're up in the studio. You know.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Wayne's World?
I have, but it's been a long time. We
So
should do
it's
a
where
movie
they-
podcast again.
Oh yeah.
We should do another one.
They get bought out or whatever by that bigger the video game.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of the.
This is
company,
Wayne's World 2 then?
One.
Okay.
And then
But 2's the tour, right?
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So but they're up in the studio, the actual, because it used to be just in the basement, you know.
Oh yeah.
Now
okay.
they're up in the studio,
yeah.
and the guy's like, "No, you gotta do it like this. 5, 4, 3." So then they're two like goons.
Oh yeah, they're buddies. Or
They're
whatever.
like, "All right, okay, so 5, 4, 3." Yeah, that's my story. So.
all right.
Jeff, you said you had a rant.
Wake up here. I do. So I have this thing that I don't like when people do.
Here we go.
As you do. You don't like people for various reasons.
Sitting down.
I am just trying to create more ways. All right. So my big thing is that people who have problems in life and they don't do anything about it.
Ooh.
Okay. And then it's fine if you don't do anything about it. But here's the key. Then you complain about it. Okay. So a few examples. Okay. Now, if this lady has fish syndrome or whatever, she's trying to do everything she can about it. She can bitch all she wants.
Hell yeah.
Okay? She got
Especially
a
if there's
shit
no,
lot in life.
Yeah, no cure.
And you're trying.
Yeah.
You can complain about it. Now,
But there too, she even sounds like she's like taking it by the balls and being like,
she's
no.
owning it.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
Is what it is.
So anyway, so a couple examples.
All right.
If you get sick, as in like the flu, cold,
Oh, okay. So
cough,
it's like a normal sickness.
whatever. Yeah, nothing terrible.
A common over-the-counter sickness.
And you do not do anything about it, and you complain about it, not my fault. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear your shit. Okay? If you're like, man, I got this really bad cold. What have you done about it? Nothing. Well, then that's the reason you still have the cold. Now, if it's like, yeah, I took a day off. I've been taking all this medicine. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, now I feel bad for you. Okay, if you've done something about it. Now, if you haven't done anything about it, it makes me mad. Same thing with people like, oh man, I have this pounding headache. Did you take anything? Did you do anything about it?
Nope.
No. I don't feel bad for you. Good thing you have a headache then. I'm glad you have a headache.
And you will continue to have a headache.
Now, in those two situations, I do mention having medicine. So I do give a pass for people who are like, I don't take medicine. But there are still other things you can do besides medicine. Like I said, orange juice, getting more rest, taking, honey with tea and all that other junk that you can take. I'm more of a pill popper myself. Anyways. NyQuil. NyQuil and a good night's rest will cure anything.
Dude.
Okay?
That stuff is like gold.
Yes.
I mean,
my dad was like, what do you got? Whatever it was, NyQuil. No matter what. You're going to feel a lot better when you do this.
Yeah.
Go to bed. Or like if you have a headache, a lot of people don't like taking medicine. But there are things you can do for a headache. You can take a little caffeine. You can also, I think there's like a pressure point in your hand you can rub or whatever. So if you don't take medicine and you get headaches, you should know these things.
You want to know a fun fact?
What's that?
Masturbation.
Masturbation gets rid of headaches?
I read that somewhere.
I'm sure you did.
No, really, look it up. For real. So, all you at home who just thinks that Joe just sits around jerking off when he gets a headache, no, look it up.
Pretty sure masturbation gets rid of all your problems. What's wrong with you? Jerk off. You'll feel better.
Nothing's wrong with me anymore.
That coming at all, John.
Hang in there.
You threw me off, man. That was good. All right, that was pretty funny. Okay. So the other thing is, all right, and I'm a big person, right? So people who are fat, and then they complain about being fat, but yet they're eating, a double cheeseburger after their 2-donut breakfast. You can't do that. Okay. Yeah. See, I'm a big person. I don't choose to do anything about it.
Yep.
And so I don't complain about it.
Sure.
I own it. All right. Now with the new job, I'm gonna have to start walking around a little bit more. I don't have a desk anymore, so I'm hoping to lose a little weight. And if I don't, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm still not gonna bitch and complain about it. Now, if you were like, man, I've been working all this time and I still haven't seen a lot of results or whatever, I'm okay with that. Then we can have a conversation.
Sure.
But I remember watching. Do you remember that Michael Moore movie where, like Fast Food Nation or whatever, where it talked about? Then they had the whole Jared thing on because Jared's like, well, you can eat Subway and you can feel better.
The pedophile?
Yeah, before he was the pedophile.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Pre-pedo Jared.
Oh my god.
So they had him go to all these schools and he was teaching these kids how to be healthier, right? Which I'm like, that's awesome because kids, you need to learn that kind of stuff young. Yeah. So, and then this little girl comes on and her mom, and they're like, I just can't lose weight with the Subway diet. I can't afford to buy subs every day. And I'm like, lady, buy a pack of bread, some sandwich meat, and some vegetables, and make a sandwich for your daughter.
Sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably you don't have to eat Subway.
Yeah,
he just so happens to work for them. Yes, he's trying to push it on you, but
sure.
At the same time, there are other things you can do. And I understand now. People are probably out there like, Jeff, you're a mean person, but first of all,
you get serious now.
First of all, I'm telling you, this is a fact. Nobody wants to hear your shit. Okay.
Yep.
Second thing is that now, if you have a medical condition like thyroid or whatever the hell these things people complain about, there's still other things you can do. Okay, it's not like I have a thyroid condition. I can't do anything about it, so I'm just gonna eat all these donuts just to, because I'm just stuck in this spot. No.
Yeah.
All right. I've seen people lose a lot of weight. It works. Just be healthy, work out, all that kind of stuff. So
see, the interesting thing about this topic in general is the fact that our current social climate,
yes,
is all about they've been dealt a rough hand, and it's come on, give them a break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, to your point, yes, give them a break if they're working their ass off on it. Then yes, say, hey, you need some help with that? I'd love to give you a hand. I don't know what you need. Do you need a cup of water? Like anything, But for the person who is literally just sitting around, and whether they're sick, whether they're depressed, whether they're, and believe me, there's going to be people out there, because I just went into a totally different avenue with the depression.
But it's all the same.
But I'll tell you right now, I've been depressed.
Yeah.
I've been very, very unhappy to the point of serious things. And guess what? You don't stay depressed if you work on it. You do things to get out of that.
I agree. And there are some, biological factors that do play into it.
Yep.
But like you said, there is if you're that bad off, the medication should be one of your routes to cure this. And maybe not long term, but at least short term to kind of pull you out of that.
Balanced again? Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
And there are counseling, there are like diet and exercise helps a lot of that. There are other things. And like you said, and I don't hear people complain about being depressed too often because
I don't think people like talking about it.
That's not something people talk about. But regardless of all these things, what my point is not to be mean to everybody, but just in that if you are going to be upset or complain about something, a situation you're in, you have the power to get out of that.
You do.
To do something about it.
You do. Yeah.
Now, and if you don't, then own it and just be who you are.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But you can't be... Like, the big thing is we work at a place, and there are a lot of people who are really unhappy at work. They just hate their life at work.
Which is odd because we actually have pretty damn
it's a good company. But they're just like, I hate it. And I'm like, if it's that bad, then leave. I don't want to hear your shit, okay? I just don't. Look, there's 10 good things, but they choose to
think
focus
about the
on one thing that's...
Or two. I'll even give them two. And bummer things.
I'm okay if it's once in a while, like, okay, man, I had a bad day, or this kind of situation is shitty. But they're like,
things
I
are not
hate everything
always
about
be
everything.
good.
It's just like, come on.
That's called
then
life.
Then leave.
Yeah.
And then when you go have another job, you'll maybe realize how good you had it here.
Sure.
Or
you won't, and this place wasn't good for you. But there you go. You fixed your problem.
And now you don't have to complain about it. And everybody's happier in life.
Yeah.
I think people have these situations, and then it kind of leads, and it just makes it bigger and worse for every other people around them and the whole society itself. So.
Well, and not only that, but I want it known that, and not that I'm the expert on these things, but like you mentioned, counseling and medication stuff, that all costs money.
Correct.
Well, I'll tell you right now, especially nowadays with the internet and other types of avenues that people go down to fix things, you can find books or articles or things on self-help. First off, you got to want it. Okay,
Yeah.
You got to want to change.
Sure.
But then after that, you got to put the work in. But guess what? You can do it for next to nothing. It's literally just changing your attitude about
And I'm sure there's a program out there somewhere, whether it be, church-based, religious-based.
Yeah.
Even if you aren't that, I'm sure they would still help you.
Yeah, definitely.
There's so many community programs. We're big into the United Way stuff, and they had a girl come on, and she's like, all these free programs for people.
Sure.
And all you have to do is call them up, and they'll tell you where to go, who to see, and it's all free.
Yep.
I mean, that's the point of people donating to United Way, and they do all these programs. So, I mean, don't think that you're out there alone, because there's either two things. People out there that are going through the same thing, and people out there who are willing to help you and to take that step. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. It wasn't meant to be a negative thing, but I do get frustrated
at the
people who complain and not do anything about it. But just,
I'm really glad you brought that up, because it does. That is something that in my early 20s, I had to change my life around just completely. And it was one of those things where it was like do or die, which I guess some people aren't in that situation. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you right now, I could have half-assed it, and I probably would still be okay. But I dove head first into it, and I've changed. And
you kind of did a lot of it by yourself too. I mean, you had help,
right? I had lots of help, but
it
not
was
like medical help, and not It was more like I said, the self-help, talking to people who've already been through it, that type of stuff. So it's out there.
There's a lot of programs out there for whatever you got. There's something and somebody out there for you. Yeah. So don't get disheartened by it.
Because, too, I mean, even though Jeff might be mad at you for complaining, I bet you he'd help you out if you needed help with something.
Sure. Yeah.
He'd much rather be like, can we get you to... What can I do to help you stop bitching?
Exactly. I want the best for people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you gotta own it yourself.
That is true.
So that is my rant for the day.
That was a great topic.
It is my... this is going to slowly become my therapy sessions.
I love it.
All right, so that is that. All right, now the next topic that Joe and I just randomly pulled out of a hat.
Boom.
Medical marijuana.
Hey, or let's just go marijuana in general.
Oh, okay.
Should we do that?
Okay, that's fine. The conversation stems from an article I read on, I think Colorado published something saying they took in about $1 billion in, I don't want to say revenue, but more taxes. Based on the sales of marijuana, okay?
Yep.
$1 billion that basically came from nothing.
I mean, a little bit of money.
They didn't have that money beforehand. Yeah. And now I know $1 billion to, like the federal government isn't a lot of money.
Right.
But to a state government, Colorado would not that. I mean, it's not a huge state or anything.
Sure,
that's a lot of money. Now,
from what I understand, they're giving that a lot to the schools. And
now that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the article itself talks about it was an article and a video, and the video's like, well, this money's now going to go to schools and anti-drug things, and it's like, yeah, maybe a little bit of it, but I'm sure it's still going to go towards.
It is a government.
It gets thrown in the pot. It's not like pot, literally.
Oh, no,
I didn't even do that one on purpose.
Shit.
All right, so it gets thrown in the proverbial black cauldron, we'll say, of government funding. And so, yes, some of that money will get evenly spread out to whatever needs it. But it's still kind of just neat to think that money then will go towards, keeping people, rehab stuff or getting kids not to get addicted to drugs.
Or if it even goes to roads.
But then if they go outside, then it says, you can smoke marijuana. So it all depends on what you're... And now this is where I think Joe's going to chime in on your definition of how bad marijuana really is for people.
So here's my take on it. Just for the world to know, I can't smoke marijuana or really do anything.
Legally, you're saying, or what?
Well, yeah, of course, in Wisconsin, we cannot legally do that.
To clarify, we are in Wisconsin. Yep. You don't know where we are.
But I also cannot drink alcohol. Okay. So it's just, that's who I am now. I'm not able to do that.
So, I'm sorry. To clarify for the folks, it's a choice. You cannot.
Yeah, I could definitely do it.
And if when you said it was like a medical thing, like, I just can't.
For some, I mean.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It is proven to be a medical, allergy.
Sure.
But regardless, Joe Horsemeyer, cannot. So, that being said, everyone should smoke marijuana.
I'm going to disagree with that. But
so here's the deal.
Go ahead.
Alcohol is a much worse drug than marijuana.
100% agree. 100% agree.
So, and that's completely legal.
100% agree.
And I just think, it's one of those things where I remember a while back, people were like, oh my God, if they legalize marijuana, are you going to do it? I'm like, no, I can't. Like, what is that? What's the point? But I do have to say that just like what's happening in Colorado, there is tax money that is now going back into the government or the state that could be used for, hopefully, depending on who's at the top using that money, good things. Now, the other part about that, too, is the billions and billions of dollars that comes in from the black market to wherever the kingpins are. That then gets taken away from them. Now, I know there's much worse drugs that people are doing, but there, too, that's where the money that is gained off of that can help people with those situations. Marijuana, I'm sorry, for the amount of time that I have smoked it, I have yet to really have my life completely, like, you can do a lot of things while high on marijuana.
Yes.
You can do a lot of things high on a lot of things, but
even
when it comes,
alcohol.
Right. But when it... And sure, you should not be high at work, and you shouldn't be, driving your car and smoking pot and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, it's just like going to a hookah bar or sitting down and enjoying a cigar at a cigar bar, or going and getting a scotch or a bourbon or whatever you drink at a bar. It's go have some recreation. Sure, it lasts maybe 2 hours, but so does a good drunk. If you're drunk, you're drunk for a while.
Way more than 2 hours.
Yeah. So it's like,
a good drunk anyway.
Just let it roll, And honestly, these people, they're not going home. And again, I'm sure there are articles and stories out there of people going home and doing bad things while they're on marijuana. But
way less than
alcohol
or other drugs.
I just think that,
You never hear about the guy who went home high on marijuana and beat his wife.
Right.
Because he's sleeping and he's asking her to make him a sandwich.
Hey, we got any Cheetos? We don't?
Yeah.
These'll do. What are these? That's dishwasher detergent. Oh.
So my one thing I do want to say is that I think the marijuana has just given people just I can just do this whenever and there's no repercussions. But people have to treat it like alcohol, and that you can use it, but you can't drive afterward.
Yep.
You can use it, you can't go to work. That's my big one.
Yeah.
Because like people are like, oh well, it's legal. I can just do it whenever, wherever. And it's like no. Now, and the other thing I think the government and the hospitals need to find better testing to tell when somebody's actually high on something.
Rather than just having it in the system.
Yeah,
because that lasts for 2 weeks.
Yeah, if I smoke a joint right now and I go to work in the morning, I'm not high, but yet it will be in my system.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so at what levels is it considered to be legally high?
Right.
Same thing with alcohol. You can blow up 0.04 and you're not legally drunk.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like half a sip of alcohol, basically.
Well, isn't it 0.08?
Yeah, but I'm saying 0.08, so 0.04 would be half.
Yeah. And that's in Wisconsin, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure other states, it's like way less. Like,
I think 8 is national.
Is it?
I look at it. Well, I do want to.
Because I know we're pretty lax.
I do want to. Well, I think it used to be a lot higher. I do want to clarify. So, Colorado had $1 billion in sales for marijuana.
Okay, all right.
So it says here through October, Colorado has collected more than $150 million in taxes, including nearly $50 million from a specific tax that directs funds to school construction projects.
There you go.
The first $40 million collected annually from the special tax is earmarked for the school projects. Yeah. So I Googled it on the old phone here, and it came up on, I believe, Fortune. So they did kind of clarify our stance as to how much and then where those funds go. Yeah. So I think it is cool that they actually passed a law, or whatever, to change the tax to specifically go to school projects.
That makes
That's
total
awesome.
sense.
I mean, I think I don't know how I feel about Wisconsin having marijuana. I don't know how I feel. I just don't.
Sure.
I'm not in this situation, so why even speculate, I guess.
So,
but at the same time, it would be cool for the government to have a bunch of extra money to throw into different projects.
So here's my take on it. Everyone who wants to smoke marijuana does it anyways, first off.
True. it's just not it's not as easy to get. Now, are we talking recreational or medical marijuana?
Recreational.
Okay.
Which is more, I can make a phone call right now and have it. Not that I'm going to do that, Miranda.
Everybody knows somebody who can get you marijuana.
Exactly. And it's
even my mom and dad probably know somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where it's like, why isn't the government, skimming some of this?
At least regulate it too, so you're not getting bad.
And that's just it. The other thing too is like, I feel like yes, we should be able to have marijuana for recreational use, but have the regulations on it just like alcohol. I mean, sure, if there's a certain age you can start or whatever, I don't care. But
because that does. I mean, it almost has to be 18. Because
sure.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of research done into how old you should be when you start drinking alcohol, and the 21 is now in our state. Everybody's drinking before that anyway. And I think most states people are, kids are drinking beforehand too. But yeah, so I don't know, whatever. Yeah. And make it 21 even then. I'm old enough, so I'm okay.
I think it's just really interesting. And people say, too, that marijuana is a gateway drug. Well, I'm sorry, alcohol is the gateway drug. And the other thing, too, is think about all the people who wouldn't be trying all these other things. They go to a establishment to smoke some marijuana. And, yes, there are going to be some shady people there. But in the meantime, when they go to their back alley or someone comes to their house or they go to someone's house, yada, 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 to pick up some marijuana, that person's also like, hey, I got this other thing too.
Yeah, because you're going to get hooked on that.
Yeah,
and it's going to make them a lot more money.
It's just that much more shady, and I don't know. Make it safer for everyone. It is what it is. So,
and the other thing I don't like is that as a government, we're paying all this money to incarcerate people who are busted for marijuana things, and it's kind of like. The guy had a dime bag on, what?
Dude. I don't know. And also,
a joint, and now he's in jail.
That goes to, defending the streets against marijuana. I mean, think about all that money that could go right back into the system.
And there, I agree. And there's just as many problems with alcoholics as there are with marijuana. Now, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's such a sensitive topic now in Colorado and those western states. They're all for it. A bunch of hippies in my opinion. Just kidding. But I just think that I'm 100% that I think marijuana is significantly less dangerous than alcohol.
Yep.
And alcohol has just become a part of society now.
It is.
Especially in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't go anywhere and I'm not given a beer.
Yep.
Just hey, you want something to drink? And when they say, do you want something to drink? They're not implying soda or water.
No.
They're implying a beer or a mixed drink.
When someone like me goes somewhere, they're like, want something to drink? I'm like, got like cranberry juice or something? They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, who has cranberry juice? I don't even...
Well, you mix it with vodka, so a lot of times they do have that.
Oh, yeah, fancy.
But anyways.
I have beer, some mixed drink sodas, and alcohol in my house.
There you go.
And water. There's water, too.
Yeah.
You either get a water or alcohol. I mean, there's no middle ground there. I should say, I do have some Sprite sitting around
There
somewhere.
you go. As you do.
As you do. Because that's a mixer. Or a little squirt.
Oh, squirt. I've got
best
squirt.
Is squirt. Squirt's
I love squirt, man.
It's the best mix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just in
a little
general.
Sour old fashioned. So good. So yeah, that's kind of my stance. Now, like I said, I do want to make sure that people understand that you have to treat it though like alcohol, and then you have to be responsible with it.
Yeah.
Like people are just now it's called wake and bake. So you wake up in the morning, you have a joint,
feeling like P. Diddy.
Okay. Now, people not a lot of people I know anyway wake up and have a beer in the morning. Now, if you have an addiction, you might have that. But I think
I was just gonna say, Jeff, what about both?
You're living the life then. Okay? You've got no job. You've got no responsibilities. You got no kids. You're living the dream.
Just brush your teeth, man. You're good to go.
That's how P. Diddy does it. But the idea, I think, is that people wake up in the morning, they smoke or whatever, they do about their day, then they smoke a little more, and then they smoke a little more, and smoke a little more.
Yep.
And during that time, it depends on what they're doing. It makes me nervous when these people might be operating heavy machinery, driving, coming to work that may or may not. If you're being a department store Kohl's cash out chick, I'm okay if you're high on marijuana. Give me the extra Kohl's cash. Let's call it even, okay?
But basically, Jeff just said your job is not as strenuous.
But if you're operating $1 million piece of equipment that could hurt, maim somebody, or include yourself, makes me really nervous. So
that's the other thing too that I've disagreed with since I've quit, because I like I said at the beginning, I've smoked my fair share of the old Mary Jane, and
we're aware our parents know this.
They know. Okay, they're well aware.
I'm an angel mama.
Right. So, but I'll tell you, it is mind altering. It is a mind altering device.
Sure.
And if you're going to be responsible with it, smoke the shit out of it when you have a moment. Like when you legitimately have that moment to smoke it. Yeah. But yes, don't go smoking it and then going and running a brake press like I used to do. How I have my phalanges, I don't know.
See, that's what makes me nervous.
And that's exactly it, you know? And
people have to be responsible.
The other thing, too, is like, I love it when people are like, oh, you can't get hooked on marijuana. I'm sorry, if you have an addictive personality, you're going to get hooked on marijuana.
Now, the marijuana itself is not addicting.
It's not.
It's a psychologically addicting.
Yes, exactly. It's not like alcohol where you could die if your body's addicted to it, but it is a psychological.
Yes.
You pull out of marijuana, you're going to feel pretty crummy for a couple of days. I'm not saying physically, but mentally, you're going to hate everything.
Yeah. Because you're used to being mellow.
Right, and not only that, but you're taking yourself out of certain situations.
Okay. So let's now we got a couple more minutes.
All right.
So let's now go into a couple medical marijuana.
All right. Okay.
To prove about how beneficial some of this is.
Sure.
I've seen all these kids. This guy. Have you seen the video of the guy with Parkinson's?
Yeah.
And he's like going all nuts. And he gets a little marijuana. He's just like, I'm good.
Yep.
And he's normal. Like he's not like stoned off his ass.
No.
Like, he's not got a Rastafarian hat on and eating Cheetos on the couch. Yeah. He's just mellow. And then you see the video of the little girl, and she's like having a pen, like just spazzing out, and they give her a little bit of marijuana, like the oil. They put it on her. I don't know if they put it on the tongue or even on her skin or whatever, and it soaks it in, and she's good. Yeah. Like these things are so cool, and we're denying it to people.
I know, and that's the
what
amazing
I don't
thing. Like, sure, they might feel a little bit of a body buzz or whatever comes with that. I've never taken medical, the oils or the vapors,
the higher TCP.
I haven't done that, but I'll tell you right now, I have had opioids. And
oh sure, well
you get fucked up on that stuff.
Opioids will knock your ass out.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like give these people just the THC or whatever is in that compound.
And opioids are highly addictive.
Holy shit.
Highly addictive.
I mean, there are people who lose their lives on that stuff.
And then they turn to heroin and it's all over.
Yeah. I have many friends who have, unfortunately, they're not walking with us on this earth anymore because they've been addicted not only to those pills, but then to the heavier stuff. And then their lives are uncontrollable, so they just end it. And it's just absolutely horrible. Yep. So
it really is. And that's why I think marijuana is a better option for a lot of these people who are in chronic pain. I mean, a lot of people who are in chronic pain, they never talk about it because they just deal with it.
Right.
And whether through opioid or heroin or whatever they're dealing with, and maybe marijuana is the answer for it. Maybe not, but at least it gives them an alternate opportunity that isn't so dangerous to their livelihood, to their being.
Right.
I mean, people on opioid eventually they go to shit. I mean, their body just breaks down. Now, I know a lot of people who smoked a lot of marijuana, and they're pretty dumb. I mean, it does kill brain cells. I'm not going to say that. Now,
so does alcohol.
Yeah, and so does alcohol. But I'm just saying that there are probably, I hate saying probably, but there are long-term effects to smoking marijuana.
Well, it has been linked to Parkinson's and things like that.
So that's why if you're responsible with it, especially for the medical, okay, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have a little bit to kind of calm me down because of my Parkinson's or whatever, take a little bit more 2 or 3 hours later. No different than you would take a pill and 2 or 3 hours you're taking the same pill.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not only that, but it's kind of more of a natural thing. Whereas these other drugs are kind of a little bit more manufactured.
Chemical,
yeah. So
agreed. And I mean, they come from plants. Like the idea of it is a lot of it from plants, but then it's so broken down and it's fabricated and synthetic and all that.
Right.
I agree.
It's an interesting topic, and yes, it is a touchy one. I've gotten into it with many people who are adamant that marijuana is evil.
Now, can I ask the age ranges? I think because you and I are the same, about the same age.
Sure.
So I think you and I I mean, we both partaken in it and not seen
What?
Now, not nearly as much as you, I'm sure. But I never had the real negative effects. So for me, it was just like, I mean, I was at one point, I would self-define myself as an alcoholic, not nearly as bad as everybody else, but to the point where I was like, I really should stop doing this so much. And so it was like, but I still want to go out and have a good time. Yeah. So then I smoked marijuana instead, and I felt a lot safer. I was always in control. Yep. I wasn't blacking out every other day. You know, like that for me was my, you know, it was almost an anti-gateway drug. You know what I mean? It actually pulled me back.
Okay.
So that's my experience, and so I have a positive image of what marijuana is.
Sure.
At least as far as how it affects my life, and it doesn't ruin things. Yeah. So, you know, for us, it's different versus I think maybe our parents or, you know, that generation are like, marijuana's for hippies and it, you know, PCP and all, you know, whatever. Yeah. So,
no, and that's very true. And I'll, you know, from my stance, I personally, again, just like you, I feel it's a good thing. I just personally cannot partake in it because I have a thinking problem. They always say, I mean, depending on where you are or what you know, it's a thinking problem, not a drinking problem. That's what it is that I have. So, and that goes the same with smoking, marijuana, and any other drug I might be doing.
Addictive. Yeah.
Whereas I lose control of who I am as an individual. You know, I like you're like, I should probably slow down, you know? And then, too, with even the marijuana, I'm sure you're like, I don't need to do this anymore, right? Yeah. And then you walked away. Yeah. Whereas I couldn't do that. Which is fine. I mean, again, when I tell people, like, yeah, I can't drink, and they're like, oh, geez. Or like, I don't drink, you know, and they're like, oh, God, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, I love drinking. You know, you don't understand.
That's the problem.
I want to drink.
I do remember having that conversation with you when we were in Portland together.
Oh, sure.
And it was like, because that's the first time, I mean, I'd known you, but I didn't know that part of you, you know, and it was like, okay, it makes sense now. You use words and phrases that, you know, I'm not quite used to because you're, you know, it's a thinking problem, drinking problem. And, but it's just one of those things that everybody has some sort of story with alcohol. And I've had really great experiences, and I've had really, really bad experiences. You know what I mean? And so
I do know what you mean.
And you know, so there's this wide gamut, and that's why I'm like, I'll have a drink every once in a while or whatever. We'll go like tonight, we're having a company party. I'm gonna go out and have. That's
right. That is tonight.
I'm gonna get. You know, I'm gonna have a couple.
Yeah.
But I know I'm a husband. Who has to make sure his wife gets home safe, and she's a lightweight, so she can get wasted. And I'd rather have her get drunk and have a good time.
There you go.
And then I also have kids in the morning, you know, so I got to get up with them, and I'm not going to be, you know, that's just not who I am anymore.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get to that point. Now, not everybody gets to that point.
Sure.
And some people get it to be earlier, later in life, but I'm one of those. I have 3 drinks. I know I'm done because I know I have to drive home after that, and in college, I had to take a drugs and alcohol class for my degree. And so one of the things was for 2 weeks, you had to document all the alcohol drinking you did. And so one of those was a work party that was free alcohol.
Okay.
So I had quite a bit to drink. And then another one was...
That's like cheating to do that to college kids.
Yeah, well, I think that's the point.
Sure.
But so because of my weight and because I'd eaten in the time of how long we were out drinking, I was never legally drunk. Even how much I ever had.
That's nice.
So it's one of those things where, you know, I know my own body and I know, okay, this kind of is where I'm at. I know I can't have any more.
Sure.
Now, if I start drinking Jack, I'm done. I don't drive after Jack, okay? Because, you know, that's just, you know, but you know how I know that? Because years of experience.
Yeah.
You know, I know I could drink gin and tonics all night and I'm fine. You know, beer up to a certain point, then I kind of get full and I'm like, enough of this. You know,
and then you start burping and farting.
Yeah,
and it's game
and then
over.
peeing every 20 minutes is no fun. So, but yeah, with marijuana, you don't have a lot of that. You know, you have your certain amount. And you smoke that, and then you're sitting there, you smoke that, and you're not consumed with anything else after that.
Yeah.
I will advise folks, do not mix the two. It can add
unless you become a novice.
Wait, become a novice?
Yeah.
An expert, you're saying?
Yes.
A novice is the opposite.
Well, okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Unless you're a novice, don't do it.
That is correct, yes. That's what I meant to say.
That's what I thought. But, yeah, don't mix the two.
I
do find that is, I did that once, never again.
Ooh.
Like, it was one of those things I was like, no, not going to do this ever again. Yeah,
it wrecks
your night.
Took me 2 experiences to learn how to do it right.
Oh, okay.
Because for me, it wasn't that. Again, that's the difference between like you and I.
Sure.
I was like, I have to beat this. It wasn't like,
no, mine was
I
like,
probably stop doing this. It was like, okay, that was stupid. How else should I do that? You know, like, so.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. So, yeah. But there you are, folks. I think we're gonna leave it there unless you got something else.
Chime in though, because I know this is a hot topic too. Let us know what you think.
It's only, and to be honest, it's only a matter of time before marijuana becomes legal in Wisconsin and the whole country.
Yeah.
It's people are growing up, and whether it's, no offense, but the other generation until they die off and ideas and change.
Yep,
it'll eventually happen.
Yeah.
Now, probably, I don't know about in my lifetime. Well, no, probably in my lifetime.
It very well could. A lot of things have already happened in your lifetime, man.
Last 30 years. But yeah, give it another 30, 40, 50 years, it'll change. Now, maybe I will be a 50-year-old smoking, marijuana or whatever. Maybe I'll have chronic pain, and maybe I'll need it.
You know what else is really interesting? I just thought about this, and maybe we'll close on this, is that what happened when they, and this is just to say the differences between alcohol and marijuana. They abolished alcohol. Remember that? Remember that time frame? I mean, we weren't alive. Yeah, but we read about it and saw it.
Created NASCAR.
Yeah. Of course.
That's what we got out of Prohibition.
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Which Indy
Way
500,
to go.
Indy 500s this weekend. Anyways.
I'm not a racing guy. That's why I make these jokes.
A lot of shitty things went down during that time
frame. Mobs were created. Yes. Gangsters. Yeah.
Marijuana, people are like, oh, shit. Well, hey, man, you still got any of that stuff?
You know what
you just go in my basement. Like,
what happens when you ban marijuana? People just have like a Hootie and the Blowfish concert, or
pretty much
like a Dave Matthews Band. He's like, I guess we gotta have another concert, guys. I guess they banned marijuana again. Where am I gonna get marijuana? Show up to the Dave Matthews Band. I never knew that was a big thing until like much later. I missed out on the whole boat. I just wasn't into that stuff, and so later on, I'm like, oh, that's what people. Is that why that's so popular? Oh, okay, I get it now.
Well, I'll tell you too. I have gone to Dave Matthews for a lot of years, over 10 now.
Yep.
And I started out going very, very high. And I'm not saying only on marijuana or alcohol. I used to do a lot of things at Dave Matthews Band concerts. But when I quit and started going, those concerts got so much better.
I thought you were going to go the opposite. I mean, I was like, I'm never going to this again.
No, it was awesome because, like, I don't know. I fell in love with the music. And two, one of my favorite things probably still in life that I can't do is get high and listen and or play music. And I'm just saying marijuana. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying it like resonates in your brain. You hear different things. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
So I did that at Dave. Now I still remembered those things that I used to hear for certain songs and stuff.
Different.
So now they were different, and not only that, but I was listening for them, so I was hearing different parts of the song again. It was just really introspective, and I don't know.
I'm that way with drinking and playing video games.
Okay,
I can't do it. I'm too much of a perfectionist when I play video games, and I'm like, I don't want to screw up. I don't want to be bad. It's like I don't really like to play video games and drink.
There you go.
Like we tried doing that with Mario, and I was like, I'm no good. I don't. Why am I even trying this?
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's about the podcast.
That was a good episode, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, chime in.
This is clearly worth a like on the old YouTube. Okay,
I think so.
So I mean, you're out there, and you're still listening this long in. You put the damn like on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
I'm talking
just
to you.
By you being here towards the end, that deserves a like.
Yes. You put this much time in there. You deserve to put a like on there. I deserve a like on there. Joe deserves a like on there.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah.
But it's perfect timing.
Mm-hmm. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe, share the YouTube page, or the jump on and enjoy the Facebook page. We post a lot of funny stuff on there. Jeff
Joe's
and
really good about that. I've tried a couple times.
You do. And then your wife and Miranda, my girlfriend, they like and comment on it. So that's always good.
Yeah.
But no, again, share this with everyone, and hopefully it keeps expanding, going to new heights here.
Yeah. So. I think we're getting better about the content too. So if you
I think
you like
so,
or don't like, if you, I love to have people chime in on the marijuana thing, or the rant we had, or any other crappy obituary stories that you know about, specifically any family members that you were personally involved with. I'd love to hear that story. Again, if you want to ever join us, we're trying to get Mike Z. I talked to him the other day about doing it at my house again because he lives right around the corner.
Sure.
So he would show up at my house.
Oh, God, that'd be awesome. We would literally just have to say, "Hey, Mike," and then sit back.
Yeah, and just let him tell all the stories.
He's just a story guy.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. And I think there was somebody else I thought you were going to maybe have to come today.
Well, I was going to have our friend TJ today.
Oh, okay.
But he must have been out last night drinking alcohol or something.
8 a.m. is really early.
It is pretty early.
So. All right, well, folks, this will be posted probably...
Well, I would hope maybe tonight.
Yeah,
I can make that happen.
Okay, we'll see.
I can make that happen.
All right, we'll see. Let's say I cannot.
How we do.
But yeah, Joe's going to try to edit himself.
Yeah, we'll make this.
So
we'll do this. All right, thank you very much, and we'll catch you on episode 18, which will be coming in a week. So, see you on the flip side? I don't know. Stay cool. Don't get too high. I don't know.
I like that.
See ya.